China wants to do something. And look, they have to at this point. You know, essentially, they made $1 trillion a year, and now they have absolutely, no business because of the tariffs. They have no business, and they want to have business. And we want them to have business. We want them to do well.
Good morning and welcome to America Right Now. I'm T.W. Shannon. President Trump showcasing his strengths as the ultimate deal maker. Prior to members of his team holding today's meeting with China for trade negotiations, the Trump administration announced a new trade deal with the United Kingdom, further opening up each side's markets to many products. We've got a lot to discuss today. Joining me now is the president of Strellmark LLC, Hillary Fordwich. Good morning, Hillary.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
So today's meeting is very vital to determine what the U.S.-China relationship will look like moving forward. Trump posted on Truth Social saying he may lower tariffs on China to 80%, but this would be up to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who is leading this negotiation right now. How much are U.S. tariffs impacting China right now, and what would a new trade deal with China mean for the United States?
Well, TW, I would say, first of all, this is just really good news that they're talking in Switzerland. Supposedly, they're just talking to determine about de-escalation and talking to talk. But it's really strategic uncertainty that's brought China to the table. What's been important, but has not been reported really in American media, certainly, or I haven't seen, is that there are riots in the street in China. China factory workers have been demanding their back pay, which they haven't received. There have been factories where workers have threatened to throw themselves off the roof because they haven't been paid. So Xi Jinping is under a lot of pressure, and I think it's very good that these talks are going forth. Now, with regard to actually us lowering that tariff rate, President Trump wants trade. He does not want a trade war. And he actually does want what's good for other nations as well as American first and American prosperity. Why? Because then we'll have a good deal.
No, you bring up some of the challenges that China's facing right now. There are reports even that the president there doesn't even have control over his own military. We know there have been banks closing, particularly in some of the rural banks. But, Trump has said that he'd like to see China opened up for trade. What's the most important thing you'd want to see for the U.S. when it comes to a potential trade deal with China?
Well, one of the things that, again, isn't talked about enough is the intellectual property. Kevin O'Leary has talked about this a lot. He has a lot of business in China, but they agree to things. It's really two issues. They agree to things, and then they go back on their word. So it's number one, it's intellectual property. And then I would say fentanyl, because Xi Jinping, again, agreed when President Trump was in his first term that he would initiate capital punishment for anybody who manufactured fentanyl.
Wow.
They went back on that agreement. And that is really important because we've had so many American deaths. So I would say this is basically about drugs. This is about intellectual property. And those would be two big wins, as well as something that is.
Hillary, I think you're right. I mean, the Trump team has promised that we're going to see not just, significant revenue, but also savings for the American taxpayer, which is important. So Hillary Fordwich, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, TW.